Our skin color is special, and after all, Yahweh has made us all beautiful in our own skin. There are many people out there who want to attribute the original Hebrew Israelites to a specific skin color, and I beg to differ, and we need to address this today because so many people are being manipulated and causing division. Let's look at the original Hebrew Israelites to find out what color they really were. Here is a description of Noah. And now, my father, hear me, for my son Lamech, a child has been born, who resembles not him, and whose nature is not like the nature of man. His color is whiter than snow. He is redder than a rose, and the hair of his head is whiter than white wool. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and when he opened them, he illuminated the whole house. Enoch 105:10. Noah was an albino. Let's take a look at the division of the land of Noah's sons. So in Genesis and in Jubilees chapter 8, we see the divisions of the land, and you're going to find that the people groups associated with Noah's sons all spread out into particular regions of the earth. Ham, his name meant hot, and he was dispersed to areas of Africa, and we would assume that his family was dark-skinned, that his children and children's children were Cush, Ethiopia, and Egypt. And Japheth, he's often associated with the whiter Caucasian skin, those who inhabited the northern lands. And then we have Shem, and his people were of the middle land, which were the blended group race that was presumably brown or olive skin tone. And this was the land of Israel and the lands in close proximity to Israel. Now remember, Noah was a blank slate, and Yahweh created them, his sons, into a beautiful spectrum of colors. Now we also have more division when the Tower of Babel situation happened and also changed the languages. So now not only are we dispersed to different lands, we're dispersed in different languages, right? And so now we have people congregating into areas based on their language. So even some of those nations that were originally of the three have been divided into different people groups based on how to communicate with their siblings or friends. So if you think at this point that these races didn't intermingle from this point forward, you are wrong. Are all blacks from Ham and his family? No. Are all the white people from Japheth's line? No, absolutely not. So let's take a look at our family history. We have Sarah, who's Abraham's wife, and we see in the tales of the patriarchs that she is actually described as being white. We have Esau, who is described as ruddy. So whether he is reddish, similar to what Noah was, he could have been white skin with a little reddish tint, or it could be describing his hair. Could he have been a different colored skin, but just a reddish tint? Absolutely. With Esau, though, it describes how hairy he was. And I don't know about you, but the most people that I see who have the most hair for men happen to be the lighter skin, right? And I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion there. So what is ruddy? According to Strong's, it is reddish, of the hair or complexion, red. The root word is Adam, meaning red, or most likely a red-headed person, right? So what's interesting is the word Adam, same as Adam, means red. So many speculate that Adam even had red hair. Then we have David in 1 Samuel 16:12. He is described as also having a ruddy complexion or red hair. Let's take a look. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and had beautiful eyes and was handsome. So he also is attributed to being red. The color spectrum keeps going. So let's take a look at Solomon. He's described as being ruddy with ivory skin and black or dark hair. His wife is described as being black or dark skin. This is in the Song of Solomon. Then we have Yahusha, and we have some outside sources that I have found along my studies, and whether you agree that they are original, that's, something we all have to test, right? This first one is Publius Lentulus, the governor of Judea. It is described in his letter that Yeshua had chestnut hair and his eyes were blue. Then we have described in a letter of Pontius Pilate to Tiberius Caesar that Yeshua had golden hair and a beard. Now, of course, I always bring the Dead Sea Scrolls into everything. There is a scroll called The Birth of the Chosen One, 4Q 534. It states that this chosen one, this baby, this infant, is born with red hair. And some ascribe this to being Noah. Well, we just read Noah had white hair, right? I've also found through some Islamic accounts, they describe Yahusha as also having a reddish complexion. Now, I'm not saying he was white, but he could have been light-skinned, medium tone, who knows? All right. So, we have to be careful not to entertain hatred with a particular people, group, a race, or nationality. The Father says in Isaiah 42:6, I am Yahweh, I have called you in righteousness, and I will take you by the hand and keep you, and I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light to the nations. Isaiah is describing a light to the nation, not that the nations are dark, and the nations means Gentiles. So I'm talking about this topic today because many are entertaining hatred. There are extremist groups that are out there who are inviting hatred towards the Gentiles, the nations, and certain racial groups. This gentleman up at the top is a Jew who believes in the Jewish Talmud, and according to him, and I just have a screenshot, I'm not playing it, but this is a screenshot if you want to go look it up, that he says that there is no room for repentance for the Gentiles or the nations. However, we just read in Isaiah, we read that it says the opposite, right? And now there's also another YouTube channel out there that's been teaching a lot on the hatred of the Black Hebrew Israelite groups that are out there. And I have a comment that I took from one of his posts, not his comments, but somebody posted on his YouTube channel, and the temperature of this next comment is very difficult, but it's not even as bad as I have seen, and I'm going to read it here. And I left out the name. It says, according to the scriptures, you all will not be in the kingdom with us. And this person is talking to somebody who is saying that they are a white person. And it has nothing to do with us hating you. It has something to do with the scriptures making it very clear, if that be the case, why didn't the Messiah forgive the fallen angels? Because you all come from the seed of the fallen angels too. And no Caucasian is made in the image of our Creator. You will not find that in the scriptures, but in the book of Enoch it tells you where you came from. So this person claims to be a black person and says that the Caucasian person will not enter the kingdom. So we have two sides of the spectrum here. We have two extremist groups saying that Gentiles or somebody of a different color can't repent and can't be grafted in. They say that you will only be allowed in the kingdom if you are of a nationality, people group, or a color. This is not what the Bible teaches. And these Black Hebrew Israelite groups that are out there are pushing this agenda that all Hebrew Israelite bloodlines are black, and that other nations or races are the ones to be possibly, the Hebrew Israelites say that nobody can be grafted in. This other YouTube channel is stating that he believes that the original bloodline was black, but the other nations can in fact be grafted in. So we're getting different stories here. But what we need to listen to is what the word tells us. This is all, it's very heart-wrenching for me, and that's why I'm bringing this forward today. And I want to bring up Galatians 3:28 through 29. And it says, "There is neither Jew nor Gentile," which also means the nations, right? People of the nations. "There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For you are all one in Yahusha HaMashiach. And if you belong to Mashiach, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise." Now here is an if and then statement. If you are going to join in with Messiah, then you are, in fact, going to be heirs to the promise. And the Father makes a lot of those statements, the if-then statements, throughout Scriptures. And here's one of them. So let's take a look at our true identity. We are Abraham's seed. We don't have to be in the same bloodline. And let's take a look at what we see here in Genesis 22:17 through 18. "I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." So your true identity isn't whatever color your ancestors were. It's who chooses to be in Mashiach, Messiah. We are Abraham's seed. Does it say here that if we're a certain race or color or bloodline that we can come into the promise? No. It's for anyone who obeyed his voice, as it says right there. So we have to understand it is an elite group, but it's those who choose to follow, right? Who choose to obey. I'm going to read Ephesians 2:12 through 13 here. "That at that time you were without Mashiach, excluded from the citizenship of Israel, and strangers from the covenant of promise." So at one time we were strangers, folks. "Having no expectation without Elohim in the world. But now in Mashiach, you who were once far off have been brought near by the blood of Mashiach." So you don't have to be blood related. You're brought in with the blood of our Messiah. Okay? So I'm going to continue reading here in Ephesians chapter 2:14 through 19. "For he is our peace, who has made both one, and having broken down the partition of the barrier, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, the law of the commands in dogma, so as to create in himself one renewed man from the two, thus making peace, and to completely restore to favor both of them unto Elohim in one body through the stake, having destroyed the enmity by it. And having come, he brought as good news peace to who were far off, and peace to those near, because through him we both have access to the Father by one Ruach. So then you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the Kodashim and members of the household of Elohim." So what are the Kodashim? They are the set apart ones. So your true identity isn't in whatever color your ancestors were, right? We are Abraham's seed. So again, here I don't see anything about race, people group, ethnicity, nationality. It's all nations, right? All right. And then I have here Romans 11:1 through 5. "Ask then, has Elohim rejected his people? By no means. For I myself am an Israelite," this is Paul speaking, "a descendant of Abraham, a member of the tribe of Benjamin. Elohim has not rejected his people whom he foreknew. Do you not know what the scripture says about Elijah? How he appeals to Elohim against Israel? Yahweh, you have killed your prophets. Yahweh, they have killed your prophets. They have demolished your altars, and I alone am left, and they seek my life. But what is Elohim's reply to him? I have kept for myself 7,000 men who have not bowed their knee to Baal. So too, at the present time, there is a remnant chosen by grace." So again, we were strangers, we were far off, brought back into the fold. And salvation here is for everyone who wants to be a part of it. But there are people out there who are killing the prophets. Now, obviously, we know the prophets are gone, but I believe it's also killing the prophecies that we have in our scriptures. So we have to look a little deeper. Now, I'm going to continue here in Romans 11, verses 11 through 24. Most of you are familiar with this. So I ask, did they stumble in order that they might fall? By no means. Rather, through their trespass, salvation has come to the Gentiles, so as to make Israel jealous. Now, if their trespass means riches for the world, and if their failure means riches for the Gentiles, how much more will their full inclusion mean? So what's the opposite of inclusion? Right? So he's saying they're going to be fully included. Now I'm speaking to you Gentiles. So these are people of the nations, not blood, right? Inasmuch then as I am an apostle to the Gentiles, I magnify my ministry in order to somehow to make my fellow Jews jealous, and thus save some of them. What? We were talking about saving the Jews? For if their rejection means the reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance mean? But life from the dead? If the dough offered as firstfruits is holy, so is the whole lump. And if the root is holy, so are the branches. But, here's the buts. We gotta listen to these. If some of the branches were broken off, and you, although a wild olive shoot, were grafted in among the others, and now share in the nourishing root of the olive tree, do not be arrogant toward the branches. Okay, so we have to be cautious about what we're saying to other people around us, whether we were from the original olive tree or we're a branch that has been put on, right? We have been included into the nourishing root of the tree. If you are, remember, it is not you who support the root, but the root that supports you. Then you will say, branches were broken off so that I might be grafted in. That is true. They were broken off because of their unbelief. So folks, here we have people who were on the original tree and were broken off for their unbelief. But you stand fast through faith, so do not become proud, but fear. And this is where we're getting these people who are saying, well, I'm Israel and you're not. Or we are Israel because of this color or this race or this nationality or people group. Do not become proud. For if Elohim did not spare the natural branches, neither will he spare you. Note then the kindness and severity of Elohim, severity towards those who have fallen, but Elohim's kindness to you, provided, okay, here's the if and the then, provided you continue in his kindness. Otherwise, you too will be cut off. And even they, if they do not continue in their unbelief, will be grafted in. For Elohim has the power to graft them in again. So again, if they were of the original tree and they broke off, they still have a chance to come back in. For if you were cut from what is by nature a wild olive tree and grafted contrary to nature. So again, what's contrary to nature? If you didn't belong in the first place, you're contrary to nature, but you're going to be grafted in and becoming part of it, right? Into a cultivated olive tree, how much more will these, the natural branches, be grafted back into their own olive tree? So, again, we have to understand that it doesn't matter what we were originally, because even the original branches were removed. So we have to be considerate. We have to understand that it doesn't matter who they were, we're all going to be part of the same family, right? And again, we were strangers, we were outside the fold, but we are able to be brought in and unnatural circumstances, right? Unnatural, being brought in to become part of the natural. All right. So I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to change over to Jeremiah 11:16 through 17. These are those who decline Messiah and his statutes. Yahuwah once called you a green olive tree, beautiful with good fruit. But with the roar of a great tempest, he will set fire to it, and its branches will be consumed. Yahuwah of hosts, who planted you, has decreed disaster against you, because of the evil of the house of Israel and the house of Judah have done, provoking me to anger, and by making offerings to Baal. So, Israel and Judah both have a lit match right next to them. Guys, we have to be cautious who we are. Are we Israel? Are we Judah? Are we just wanting to be part of the family? Okay, here's another situation here in 2nd Esdras 1:24 through 25 and 33 through 37. What shall I do to you, O Jacob, and you, Judah, who would not obey me? I will turn to the other nations. So here's Yahweh. I'm going to turn to those other nations, those other people who will come to me. And yes, that includes different color of skin, different nationalities, different languages. And to them I will give my name, that they may keep my statutes. Seeing you have forsaken me, I will forsake you. When you desire me to be merciful to you, I shall have no mercy upon you. Thus says Yahuwah, the Almighty, your house is desolate. I will drive and cast you out as the wind does chaff. And your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandments, and have done deeds that are evil in my sight. Your houses, so here he's talking to the houses, your houses I will give to a people that shall come. Right? So if you don't want it, if you don't want the inheritance, I'm going to give it to people who do want to be part of it, which have not heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have shown no signs, yet shall they do that which I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall recall their former iniquitous sinful state to remembrance, and acknowledge them. I call to witness the gratitude of the free, unmerited favor of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in the Ruach they believe the thing that I will say. So folks, he wants a house, not divided. He wants a people group, not separated by skin color, nationality, or anything else. But he wants those who truly want to be with him. That's who's going to enter the kingdom. So we see the gates here. We have the depiction of the 12 tribes that come in. And each tribe, my friends, are going to be blended. Yes, perhaps one group might have more of one color, but they're going to be blended in most cases. It won't matter the original colors of the original Hebrew Israelites. What will count is those who are counted worthy to enter the gates. That's what counts. Those counted worthy. Remember that. So you must either A, be from one of these tribes to be going into these gates, or B, you must be from a people group who's being grafted in. So there's no gate here that says Gentiles. There's no 13th gate that says it's specifically for the Gentiles to make it in. So we have to go in through one of these gates. Right? So I don't know what tribe I'm from. Maybe you do. That's great. I don't know where I'm going to go in, right? But I believe I'm being grafted in by the Father. So don't get discouraged for those who insist that they're the chosen ones. They're the elite group that's going to make it in, and nobody else is going to make it in. All right? Many are called and few are chosen. That's what we see here in Matthew 22:14. It says that. And, you know, we have to understand that there's only one way into the gate, especially if we're not of the original group. And does it say, Zebulon's group was this color? No. I'm going to take a look here at Revelation 7:9 says, "After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb." Every nation, folks. Every nation, tribe, people, and language. It doesn't say just one color. Doesn't say just one people group may apply and try to enter in. My Bible never says that we are to be divided by skin, race, or language. It speaks of a place on the tree for those who are grafted in. It doesn't say that a certain skin color need apply. It doesn't say that. It just doesn't. Revelation 22:14 says, "Blessed are those who wash their robes, so that they may have the right to the tree of life, and that they may enter the city by the gates." The kingdom will be for an elite group. Yes, that is true. But not an elite color. And I'll say it over and over again. It doesn't specify. It actually says quite the opposite. It specifies that it's every nation. That means Gentiles. So the 12 tribes that we just saw was the mixed multitude. If you take a look at Exodus 12:38, it talks about those leaving with Moses was a mixed multitude with the Egyptians, mixed groups, people groups that left. The Egyptians left with the Israelites. They were already intermarrying with the Egyptians. Do you think they were full-blood Israelites when they left? No. Some of them might be. Those who join the Yahad, or the congregation or ecclesia, are those who choose to do so. So anyone can be grafted in. Those who want to join are eligible. Those who choose to be part of the olive tree can be grafted in. There's always a weeding out. Revelation 3:9 says, "Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not." I stopped there. Don't get discouraged for those who insist they are the chosen, because many are called, few are chosen. So who is Israel? We are the Yahad, the congregation. We are Israel. We are Israel. We are part of the olive tree, whether we're the original roots or those who are grafted in. Anyone is welcome. John 1:12-13 says, "But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of Elohim, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Elohim." So did you hear that? It says not of blood. Yahusha came for the lost sheep of Israel. And I think we're truly lost in many ways. Matthew 15:24 says, "He answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Then we have Isaiah 53:6. "All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Yahuwah has laid on him the iniquity of us all." In John 10:16, "And I have other sheep that are not of this fold." This is Messiah himself. I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice. So there will be one flock, one shepherd. So you hear that? Yahusha is saying there are people that weren't of the original group, but I'm going to go for them. So what kind of sheep are you? Are you a black sheep, a white sheep? Are you one of Jacob's speckled sheep? You have mixed heritage? I know. I have mixed heritage. But we don't need to be identified by that heritage any longer. We're a mixed flock. John 3:16 states, "For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life," or eternal life. It says whoever. But a lot of people stop at that verse. Let's continue reading. "For Yahweh did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world," so again the nations, "might be saved through him," the Gentiles. "Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the Son of Elohim. And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in Elohim." So I always refer back to Yahusha telling his disciples that we need to be like children. He keeps it pretty simple so that even a child can understand this. We might not be of the original stock, but we are welcome if we choose to be faithful and obey. We can't just stop at John 3:16. It does say whoever, but you have to understand that we can be children of the darkness or children of the light. We see that whoever believes in him is not condemned. Also, we can't choose to hate and enter the kingdom. Those people out there who have hatred on their mind and in their hearts are not going to enter the gates. The earth is filled with enough hate. We need to come back to him and ask if we can be grafted in or regrafted. Perhaps you were of the original flock and you're choosing to be regrafted. I just want to continue and say that we're a blended family. Welcome to the family. Doesn't matter the original color of the Hebrews. Your guess is as good as mine, and it's just a guess. It's okay to guess. But your guess isn't 100% accurate. It doesn't matter what our skin color is. We're all beautiful in our own skin. The Father has made us unique and special and beautiful. We shouldn't be dividing on who gets to go in. It's ultimately the Father's choice, right? But are you making the effort to bring your brother and sister into the fold with you? There's a lot of topics that we can address that have direct answers in Scripture. The Word says something specifically. But in a situation like this, we don't have a lot of information in terms of the exact color of the original Hebrews. These are vague things, and we're just guessing, and we can assume, and we can be right, and we can be wrong. We cannot say that we are right, because then what kind of person are you? To be prideful? We don't want to be prideful. We must do our best with what we have and be willing to be taught and corrected when the time comes. And, what I see are many of these groups that are creating these firm decisions based on their guesses. And they're causing strife and division in the body. And they're ostracizing others who don't agree with their opinion. And that is where they're all wrong. They have hatred. Yahusha said in John 16:33, he said, I have these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So let's overcome the hatred and the love and love on others who want to call on him, no matter where they're from. The entry gates, when we see it, hopefully if we are able to enter, it's going to be a grand event, and we're going to see believers of all nations enter as one people. So please share this information with anybody struggling to feel that they fit in, or they're unsure of their true inheritance in Messiah Yahusha, and bring them into the fold. Call them, talk to them, take down those walls and those barriers. And I hope that you will continue to join me as we continue to fight for truth. Be blessed.